So, here is the lesson we can all learn from Miss Universe 2025. So, again, Miss Mexico Fatima Bosch won Miss Universe 2025, and there are allegations that it was rigged. There were allegations that contestants had been told if they wanted to place higher, they should pay. People believe Miss Philippines should have won. People believe Miss Cote d'Ivoire should have won. Some people are scratching their heads, wondering why certain participants didn't place higher. So here is the life lesson that we can all learn from Miss Universe 2025. If the allegations are true, that Miss Mexico was somehow dropped into winning, whether that's because of who her father had business connections with and whatever nefarious thing that was happening behind the scenes. You never want to be the person who wins because someone bought your position. Anyone in life, we all should work for what we have, because now, instead of people celebrating Miss Mexico, telling her, what an amazing job she did, people around the world, millions of people around the world, are talking about how she didn't deserve to win. That is embarrassing. People are instead celebrating Miss Cote d'Ivoire. People are instead celebrating Miss Philippines, celebrating all the other women who they believe didn't have a fair chance. Now, I want to say that regardless of who would have won, people would always complain, right? You're always going to have your favorite, and if your favorite doesn't win, you're going to be upset. But that is different from people saying you won because someone behind the scenes was pulling a string. So if you look at your own personal life and you have a situation where someone is bending the rules for you, someone is paying for you to be where you are, someone is cheating, you're lying, you're taking advantage of others so that you can come out on top, you should never, ever do that. Why? Because you'll just be a loser, but a loser with a crown on. Everyone can see right through it. Everyone can see it. Everyone can say you don't deserve to be there. And I don't know about you, but I would never want to be that person. That is so embarrassing. And the worst part of it all is that it overshadows your real accomplishments. Miss Mexico had a real accomplishment during the competition. She stood up for herself in real time in front of hundreds of people. She pushed back against authority. And that is amazing. And that is incredible. That is what we want these women to represent to young girls and boys around the world. But the fact that she was then handed the crown for whatever reason behind the scenes, now we forgot about that magical moment she had, and now all we can think about is, wow, whose dreams did she just steal? Whose dreams were taken away from them? So if you are a person who feel like, you've been robbed, keep shining, keep going, because the people around you can see it. You can't fake it, right? A winner is someone that has a certain aura about them. They have a certain presence about them. It cannot be bought, no matter how hard you try to hide it. A winner is always going to shine through, just like Miss Cote d'Ivoire, just like Miss Philippines. And to supporters, right? To the people who are supporting someone in their life, whether it's your child, whether it's your niece, nephew, grandchild, your friend, your cousin, your coworker, if you're someone who is supporting someone and you really want them to win, you should never have the idea that they must win at all costs, because that's when you start to bend the rules. That's when you start to cheat. That's when you start to harm others so that your person can come out on top. And why do you want to live a life like that? The truth is always going to come out in the end. And in the end, do you want to have to face the embarrassment that you bought where you are today, that you had to pull the strings of where you are today? I'm going to take this even a step further. We know that nepotism is a real thing in the world. A lot of people get places because of who they know, how much money they have, who they're paying behind the scenes, but you never win. And if you look closely at those people, they're still really empty. They're still really dissatisfied because they know they don't deserve to be there, as opposed to the person who has worked their way from the ground up who has invested time, who has the work ethic, who has the discipline, who has turned nothing into something, that person always shines. That person is always recognized for who they are. Now, I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with accepting help. There's nothing wrong with accepting support. Everyone should be helped and supported and loved and cared for in their journey to their goals. But you should never cheat. You should never step on someone else. I hope that as we sit down and we think about what happened this year at Miss Universe, I've already called for boycotts of the organization. If you want to learn more about that, go and watch my previous video. But I think that as we all return back to our lives and we look at our lives, are you a cheater? Are you someone who's willing to step on someone else to win? Don't be that person. Be honest. Because when you're an honest person and you win, no one can deny you. No one can take that away from you. Miss Fatima Bosch took to her Instagram to say, "Today I reaffirmed that what God has destined for you, neither envy stops it, nor destiny aborts it, nor luck changes it." How do you feel about her comments? Tell me down below.